in the heart of a sprawling, vibrant forest, life thrived in all its glory. This forest was a sanctuary, a world teeming with the sounds and sights of countless creatures. The towering trees reached for the sky, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind, while the ground below was a bustling metropolis of ants, beetles, and other tiny inhabitants. Among these creatures was a diligent ant named Aria. She was known for her relentless work ethic and her unwavering determination, always seen scurrying about, gathering food and building her home. High above, soaring gracefully through the azure skies, was an eagle named Elysia. With her sharp eyes and powerful wings, Elysia commanded the respect of all the forest creatures. She was a symbol of freedom and strength, often seen gliding effortlessly above the treetops, surveying her domain with a keen gaze. The forest was a place where every creature, no matter how small or large, had a role to play. The animals lived in harmony, each contributing to the delicate balance of their ecosystem. The diligent ants worked tirelessly to prepare for the changing seasons. The birds sang their melodious tunes, and the larger animals roamed freely, ensuring the forest remained a place of wonder and beauty. Aria and Elysia, despite their differences in size and stature, shared a unique connection to this land. Their lives, though seemingly separate, were bound by the unseen threads of fate that wove through the heart of the forest. Little did they know, this connection would soon be tested in ways neither could have imagined, setting the stage for a tale of courage, kindness, and the enduring power of doing what is right. One day, as Aria was carrying a particularly heavy load of food back to her nest, disaster struck. She ventured too close to a rushing stream, the banks slippery and treacherous. A sudden misstep sent her tumbling into the swift current. The force of the water was overwhelming for the tiny ant, and she struggled to keep her head above the surface. Panic surged through Aria as she was swept downstream. She clung desperately to a small twig, her tiny legs scrambling for a hold, but the relentless water threatened to pull her under. Exhaustion began to take its toll, and just as she felt her strength waning, a shadow passed overhead. It was Elysia, the eagle, gliding gracefully through the sky. Her sharp eyes quickly spotted the struggling ant below. With a powerful beat of her wings, Elysia swooped down and with great precision plucked Aria from the water, lifting her to safety. Gently, Elysia placed Aria on a dry patch of land, far from the dangerous currents of the stream. The ant lay there, panting and shaken, but incredibly grateful. She looked up at the majestic eagle, her savior, and felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. In that moment, a bond was forged between the smallest and one of the mightiest creatures of the forest. Aria, now safe, vowed silently to herself that she would repay this act of kindness. She didn't know how or when, but she was determined to show her gratitude to Elysia. Little did she know, the opportunity to fulfill this vow would come sooner than she expected, in a manner that would surprise them both. As days turned into weeks, the memory of that fateful day by the stream remained vivid in Aria's mind. She resumed her diligent work, but her thoughts often wandered to the majestic eagle who had saved her life. Meanwhile, Elysia continued her daily flights, soaring high above the forest, ever watchful. One bright morning, as Elysia glided over the treetops, her sharp eyes caught sight of something unusual below. A group of hunters had entered the forest, setting traps and laying snares. Elysia, always cautious, observed them from a safe distance. However, her curiosity got the better of her, and she flew lower to get a closer look. In a flash, a trap was sprung. A net, almost invisible against the foliage, ensnared Elysia, pinning her powerful wings to her sides. She struggled mightily, but the more she fought, the tighter the net seemed to hold. The hunters, hearing the commotion, began making their way toward their captured prize. Nearby, Aria was busy collecting food when she noticed the unusual disturbance. She saw the hunters approaching and quickly realized what had happened. Without a moment's hesitation, she abandoned her task and scurried towards the trapped eagle. Drawing on every ounce of her strength and determination, Aria began to chew through the tough fibers of the net. Her progress was slow, but her resolve was unwavering. The hunters were getting closer, their footsteps growing louder. Elysia, sensing the urgency, tried to remain as still as possible, trusting in the tiny ant's efforts. Just as the hunters came into view, Aria managed to create a small tear in the net, enough for Elysia to force her way out. With a powerful thrust, the eagle broke free, launching herself into the air and out of the hunter's reach. Arya watched from below, her heart pounding with relief and pride. She had repaid her debt, not out of obligation, but from a deep sense of gratitude and friendship. Elysia, now free and soaring once more, looked down at the tiny ant that had saved her. She realized that true strength often comes in unexpected forms, and that the bonds of kindness and courage transcend size and species. Their lives intertwined by fate. Arya and Elysia had proven that even the smallest act of bravery can make a world of difference. The hunters, frustrated by their failed attempt, began to search the area, determined to capture the eagle. Arya knew the forest well, and she swiftly devised a plan. She scurried up to a nearby tree, where a colony of ants, her friends and family, resided. She communicated the urgent situation to them, and they quickly sprang into action. The ants worked together, creating a diversion. They swarmed out of their nest, spreading through the underbrush, creating a commotion that drew the hunters' attention away from Elysia. The hunters, bewildered by the sudden onslaught of ants, began to swat and stomp, losing focus on their original target. Meanwhile, Elysia, high above, circled back to observe the scene. She saw the hunters struggling with the ant diversion and knew this was her chance to help. With a powerful dive, she swooped down, snatching one of the hunters' hats and flying off with it. The hunters, now thoroughly confused and distracted, chased after the hat, leaving their traps and snares behind. With the immediate danger averted, Arya and her fellow ants regrouped, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Elysia, having led the hunters away, returned to the clearing where Arya awaited her. The eagle landed gracefully, and for a moment they simply looked at each other, a silent understanding passing between them. The forest returned to its peaceful state, the hunters now far away. Elysia knew that without Arya's quick thinking and the bravery of the ant colony, she might not have escaped the hunters' grasp. Arya's cleverness and courage had saved her life once again, proving that the bonds of friendship and mutual aid were stronger than any trap or snare. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the forest, Elysia and Arya knew their connection had deepened. They had faced danger together and emerged victorious. Their story, one of courage, kindness, and the power of working together, would be remembered by all the creatures of the forest. And as they went their separate ways, they carried with them a renewed sense of purpose and the knowledge that true friendship knows no bounds. In the days that followed, the story of Arya and Elysia spread throughout the forest. The animals spoke of the brave ant and the majestic eagle who had saved each other from certain doom. Their tale became a symbol of hope and unity, inspiring creatures of all sizes to look out for one another. Arya continued her diligent work, but now she was no longer just another ant in the colony. She was a hero, known for her quick thinking and bravery. Her fellow ants held her in high regard, and they often sought her advice in times of trouble. Arya, however, remained humble, always emphasizing the importance of teamwork and the strength found in unity. Elysia, too, felt the impact of their shared experiences. She flew with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that her actions in the forest could make a significant difference. She kept a watchful eye over the land, ready to swoop in and help whenever needed. The bond she shared with Arya was a constant reminder of the unexpected ways that kindness could manifest. One evening, as the forest bathed in the golden hues of sunset, Elysia perched on a high branch overlooking the bustling ground below. She saw Arya leading her colony in gathering food for the coming winter. The eagle felt a deep sense of gratitude and respect for the tiny ant who had shown such immense courage. In a rare moment of stillness, Elysia descended to the forest floor, landing gently beside Arya. The two friends, despite their vast differences, stood side by side, sharing a quiet moment of reflection. Arya looked up at Elysia, her antennae twitching in recognition, while Elysia gazed down with a soft, knowing look in her eyes. "Thank you," Elysia said, her voice a gentle whisper carried by the breeze. "No," Arya replied, her tone firm yet warm. "Thank you for saving me first." They both knew that their actions had been driven not by a need for recognition, but by a genuine desire to help one another. It was this pure intention that made their bond so strong and their stories so powerful. As the stars began to twinkle in the evening sky, Elysia took flight once more, soaring high above the forest. Arya watched her go, feeling a sense of peace and fulfillment. They both understood that true friendship and the courage to do what is right, regardless of recognition, were the greatest rewards of all. And so, the story of the ant and the eagle lived on, a timeless reminder of the impact of kindness, bravery, and the enduring power of doing what is right. The forest, with all its diverse inhabitants, continued to thrive, united by the shared values that Arya and Elysia had so beautifully exemplified. To stay updated with all the channel's content and not miss any videos, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, like, share with your friends, and comment below what you learned from the previous lesson in the video. May God be with you all, and see you next time. Bye.